Hey Jennifer, good evening to you. I am here at Tallulah Academy where there is some pretty significant storm damage. We were actually just inside the gym where you can see the sky from inside. Now I want to show you some of the damage outside. See this metal roof? It's crumpled like paper. This yellow stuff, this is actually insulation that was thrown across a field here next to the school. Police say it started at about 3:30 this afternoon. The Ruston Police Department tipped off the school to a man heading towards campus with a gun. Louisiana State Police as well as the Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Office secured the scene, and about at 5:30 we were told that a suspect was in custody. Now, it's important to note this comes just weeks after two deadly shootings on the campus of Grambling State University. Luckily, no one was hurt today, Doug. Jennifer, today marks 3 years to the day since Green was allegedly beaten, tased, and dragged by state troopers in Union Parish. So far, nobody has been charged with a crime. Jennifer, today marks 3 years to the day since Green was allegedly beaten, tased, and dragged by state troopers in Union Parish. So far, nobody has been charged with a crime.
I'm your brother. I'm scared. Get out of the car. I'm scared.
3 years after state troopers allegedly stunned and beat Ronald Green after a high-speed chase that began in Washita Parish and ended in Union Parish, his family is still seeking answers.
No more, no less. We want justice. We need arrests.
Ronald Green's mother and family met with Union Parish District Attorney John Belton today. Attorney Lee Merritt says the family is frustrated that Belton hasn't filed charges against any of the officers involved.
I think that the prosecutor for this parish has been given authority by the people of Louisiana to respond to criminal activity. I think Mr. Belton has acknowledged that there has been criminal activity associated with what occurred to Ronald Green 3 years ago, and that there is no longer a legitimate reason to continue to delay justice.
Belton, who originally referred the case to the federal government, says 2 months ago he was given the okay to pursue state charges, but says he's waiting on the feds for a full investigative report.
It is so important for me to wait on a complete file so I can present all evidence to a special grand jury, not just partial evidence, but all evidence. And I think that is in the best interest of the Ronald Green family in terms of pursuing justice for them.
The Green family argues the body camera video is sufficient enough evidence to impanel a grand jury. Tonight, the family will hold a vigil at the site of Green's death. His mother says she will not stop fighting for justice.
I'll stay here till it's completed. There's no doubt. I won't fail my son.
Now, Jennifer, DA Belton says he does expect to receive that full investigative file soon, but he wouldn't put a date on it. Regardless, he says he'll continue to fight for justice for the Green family. Live in Ruston, Tyler Englander, KNOE 8 News. Alyssa, the legislation would add fentanyl to the permanent list of dangerous Schedule I narcotics.
We have to address this crisis. Fentanyl has become a #1 killer. It's a leading cause of death, drug overdoses, for Americans aged 18 to 45.
Representative Mike Johnson says opioids are ravaging American communities. To help, he's drafted legislation to make fentanyl a permanent Schedule I narcotic. Is increasing the criminal penalty enough of a deterrent to stop them from trafficking fentanyl?
It's not. It's an important first step, but we have to get control of our border.
To do that, Johnson, the 4th highest ranking Republican in the House, has some ideas, starting with reinstating the stay in Mexico policy and changing U.S. asylum laws.
Now the word is out that, if you just claim that you have a credible fear of persecution in your home country, you can get through even the checkpoints. That's not enforced, and when we return people loose to come back for a hearing later on, given the backlog in the cases, they don't show up anyway.
Another challenge, most of the fentanyl coming into the United States is originally made in China. President Joe Biden recently imposed sanctions on Chinese drug makers, but the question is, do they go far enough? If China's not doing enough to stop the problem, should the U.S. impose sanctions on China as a whole?
Absolutely, we should do more than that. I mean, China is the #1 threat to our country right now. The two greatest threats to America, the existential threats that we have to our constitutional republic, is China and the national debt. And we have advocated for a strong stance against China. We need to send a real message.
Another concern for Johnson is cartels using social media platforms like TikTok and Snapchat to sell illicit drugs. I asked Johnson if tech companies have a responsibility to boot dealers from their platform.
We certainly believe that they do, and another comprehensive reform measure that will be coming forward soon is to deal with the big tech problem. Look, TikTok is owned by the Chinese government, effectively. This is the Chinese Communist Party using it as a mechanism, a subversive tool within the U.S.
That's right, Jennifer. Arthur Miller tells me with May being National Mental Health Awareness Month, he hopes his daughter's struggle will show others it's okay not to be okay.
I mean, she was the most loving little girl I could ever ask for.
Elena Miller's father is speaking out following her tragic death. Miller was days away from finishing her freshman year at Southern University when she committed suicide by walking into the Mississippi River.
She took me the night before she walked into the water. And she said, "Please pray for me."
Miller's father, Arthur, lives in Bastrop. He said his daughter has struggled with her mental health in the past.
I didn't know what was wrong. I just called her, and she didn't answer, so I called her again, left a voice message of a prayer on the phone. And she never answered.
In a suicide note posted to Instagram, the Southern University cheerleader outlined her mental health struggles, which she says were compounded by a torn ACL, trouble in school, and the pandemic.
But that was the made-up view of Elena, and she told us she was dead inside. But oh, we're looking at a beautiful girl. She's gorgeous. But on the inside, she's dying.
Also in the note, which has since been taken off social media, Miller urges people to find a way to vocalize their feelings and check on their friends.
It was designed to help other people, strong people, that appear strong, that appear happy, that appear like everything is all right.
As for what Miller will miss most about his daughter,
I will never forget that smile in my whole life. It's like she glowed.
now Miller says the funeral will be held in Texas, but he's going to hold a memorial service in Bastrop at the Morehouse Baptist Education Association Sunday at 5. Jennifer?